You're smart, you're motivated, you want to do something big. You're on the verge of being a young boss, and we're going to help you get there. I'm your host, Isabel Garino, and welcome to the Young Boss Podcast, where youth is your power. Joining us today are two of my very good friends, Mike and Killian. They're the creative minds and dedicated entrepreneurs behind Pitties Popcorn, a unique and thriving business born out of love for pit bulls and a commitment to the natural whole food ingredients. While the concept was brought to life by Mike, alongside him in his ventures has been his husband, Killian, who brings his tech sales expertise to the table, complementing the business dynamics. Pitties Popcorn represents the couple's passion for rescuing and giving back, extending their care and support to dogs in need. Despite the challenges presented by COVID-19, Mike, with support from Killian and his family, successfully transformed Pitties Popcorn from a side hustle to his main gig. Now standing on the cusp of an exciting phase of growth and expansion, Mike and Killian, welcome to the Young Boss Podcast.
Hi. Thank you. We're so excited to be here.
I'm so happy to finally have you guys. As soon as you started this business, I was like, I can't wait to talk about it because it is relatively new.
Yes, it is.
So what gave you this idea?
Well, it actually, when we got married in May in Hawaii, we were kind of just, I still am a little bit of an investor, but before that I was a full-time investor, just constantly behind the computer screen. I wasn't seeing people. I was just like, and I have a personality where I like to be alone, but I also like to see people and just meet new people, connections, and working behind a computer screen, I was getting none of that. So when we were in Hawaii, we were actually talking to some of our other mutual friends who own a farmer's market business, and we just loved just how many connections they were making there, and being able to be outside and just giving back to their community, and that's kind of what started it. And then do you kind of want to talk about just where we came up with the popcorn?
Yeah, so during the pandemic, right, when we're all watching like a million hours worth of TV and movies, we were trying to figure out what could be some other fun snacks to make. So we started playing around in the kitchen, making new recipes and everything. And so started to bring it to family once restrictions kind of lifted and we could like see friends and family again. Yeah. And they were like, this is good. Like you guys should turn this into a business. And, you know, at the time we both had our serious Monday through Friday jobs. And so we were like, we didn't have time. Like we lived by the Uptown Farmers Market in Phoenix and really enjoyed going to that one. Just like Mike said, the environment is so positive. Everyone's so friendly, being able to share what they make at home. And so we're like, sure, why don't we give this a try? And so, here we are about a year and a half into it. You know, it took us a while to get into the farmers markets. We did like different dog events to get started, got our social media presence growing, and then we got accepted into some of these different ones. So here we are.
Is it hard to get accepted?
It really is. Like the one,
at least for the bigger ones.
Okay.
And like I think they try to make a couple, like one or two vendors of each kind, you know. So like not more than like two popcorn vendors. And so we wanted to have somewhere to like stand out. And so we had such great experiences with our rescue pit bulls, and we wanted to always get back into that realm of the community. And so we're like, why don't we pair the two together? Kind of played around with a couple names. And so we ended up with Pitties Popcorn.
And like he just said, when we did decide we wanted to turn this into a business, it was very important to us that we weren't just like starting another business. We wanted to involve our community and find a way to give back. And that's where we, like he just said, we love dogs and rescuing, and we're like, why don't we? One day I woke up and I was just like, Pitties Popcorn. It was just like in my head, and that's kind of how we kicked it off the ground.
I love it. And you guys have two gorgeous pit bulls.
We do.
Yes, and they really are seriously beautiful. Like every time I see them, I'm just like, they're so cute. You know, I feel like pit bulls is all about being a good owner.
Yeah.
Like they get such a bad rep.
It's
and
so true.
Is that why you wanted to focus on that breed?
Yeah, for sure. And like, I mean, I had always I didn't have pit bulls growing up. You had a couple. Your mom was big into adoption. And so, you know, I kind of had that weird stigma around them too. And so when we first met, you had Skip, our older one, and he was like the sweetest dog. And obviously we have Lily, our little 50-pound princess of human baby, part puppy. And they're just the best dogs. I don't know if it's the breed or just the actual being rescue dogs, but they're just so grateful, so loving. We've just had such a fantastic experience. And so we wanted to promote that as well through our business model.
Exactly. I love it. Just spread the word that they're great dogs. And like you said, any dog or person can be bad, and it's truly up to the owner. And we're trying to advocate how amazing they are. And something we've actually noticed is everyone who comes up that has pit bulls, they're always like, sweetest dog I've ever had, best dog we've ever had. And then they're like, I have a German Shepherd and like great dog, but very hyper. Like all the other breeds, it's always like, I have this dog and I love them, but there's this. And like, I have a pit bull and it's just like sweet, amazing, lovable. And we're just, trying to spread that.
I love that. I think it's so important just because they seriously do get a bad rep, but it's not their fault, in my opinion.
Right.
Like any dog can be bad or good, like you're saying.
Exactly.
So that's amazing. And then the whole other side of it is that you guys are vegan. And so you wanted to bring a twist on that and bring a healthier alternative for popcorn. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So something that we really noticed, we did like popcorn when we're buying products, is they were just like full. We are vegan, but we also try and be natural, as organic as possible. And we were just finding that like flavor of popcorn had like 50 ingredients. We could pronounce maybe a few of them. And there was like yellow dyes.
Why is this in here?
Exactly. Just full of colored dyes. And we're like, this should not be necessary to create an amazing, tasteful product.
That was another big thing. We wanted to have just minimal ingredients. Obviously, as many locally sourced as possible, and then organic as well, just because, some of our flavors are on the sweeter side of things, but you still don't have, since it is such minimal products to begin with, you don't have, like we were joking about, like these products and chemicals that you don't even know how to pronounce and what they are. And so obviously it's going to have an effect in your body as you consume them.
Absolutely.
And I mean, most of our popcorn has 10 ingredients or less. And again, they're all ingredients that everyone knows what they are, just whole ingredients. You can easily pronounce them. And we're still able to create amazing flavors by doing so.
They truly are amazing flavors. I know when I visited you at the farmer's market, I was like, these are the best. I did like a food tasting review. And then we have a mutual friend who we didn't even know who had met you at a market and was like, oh, I ordered them in bulk for the company. And I was like, oh my goodness. So without even me telling her, oh, go visit them, they're the best. Really, your work stands for itself. And how are you guys coming up with these flavors? Are you just thinking of them overnight? Are you doing research on what people want?
Yes. So our three original ones were, I guess the two original ones were the Arizona Rancher. That's what we were making the most during the pandemic. And then big sweets guy. So had to have a chocolate peanut butter in there. So those are the two that we made. And then we also, we had our savory and our sweet flavor being those two. And then we also, since we always see kids at these markets, right?
And we have a lot of nieces and nephews together.
And so we wanted to have some sort of product for them that was going to taste good, but also catch their eye, bring mom and dad in. So that's how we came up with the magical unicorn.
Yeah, my favorite.
Good.
That's what we say. We created it for the kids, but it is like truly amazing. We have parents that come back and was like, we need to get another bag because we ate it all, and our kid didn't get any.
And so with that one, like it's beautiful bright pink, and so again, like not having to use any sort of weird red dye or any other food colorants. We use a completely naturally based food dye that's made out of sweet potatoes. So it gives us that nice pink color. And so people are surprised and very relieved to hear that there's no red dye in it. So
yes, that is huge. Okay, tell me a little bit about the business side of it. We grew up together, so I know that you had worked in a family business. I know when life transitioned, you and your brother opened your own business. How did that past experience help take you into opening now your own thing?
So growing up, both of my parents were entrepreneurs. So just something that was always in the back of my head. It's because what I saw, it's only what I knew. They weren't doing a corporate job, or they were leaving at 9 and coming back at 5. Hours were crazy, but I was seeing what they were doing and the freedom that brought with it in the end. So then when my brother and I had the opportunity to start a business together, that is really where I learned the ins and outs of the business. Like I saw my parents run successful businesses. They would tell me what it takes, but I had never started one myself yet. So when we started that, like I got to figure out how to do taxes and register our business name. And while those are very simple things, they are obviously
don't know how to do that.
They're obviously necessary tasks. And I hadn't straight up done those before, but just like overseeing my mom, like working on her computer and doing those types of things definitely opened the door more to it versus like he said, where his parents are also very successful, but more in the corporate side of the world. So just nothing that they've had to, or he's experienced before.
And for you, you have been working pretty major jobs ever since I've known you, right? And how has that helped translate? Also, did it scare you at all when he's like, I'm going to quit and let's do this random side gig thing and we'll see if it works.
Yeah.
Any fear involved?
So I'd been doing medical device sales for the last 10 years, like essentially since out of college, which really enjoyed that. It was rewarding to be in the operating room selling my products. But one of the biggest issues that we'd always discuss was my lack of time towards, Mike and then our dogs and everything like that, just because while it is a lucrative career, you lose, the more successful you are, you lose your own time just because, you're at the beck and call of the physician. You never know when surgeries are going to happen. And so I moved over to technology sales this past April. And so I've been enjoying that really. And it's been nice. It's been nice and it's been better schedule wise, just being able to have a set time of when I'm off. I can go help him, finish up the popcorn for the week. But yeah, being in the corporate world the last like 10 years, and then obviously in the sales world as well, just being, my biggest thing is always when I'm trying to make a sale or, talking with customers is you have to be relatable. You have to be honest with them. And so that's what we've really looked at as far as, our ingredients. We're providing good quality, clean ingredients. And then also with a lot of our customers being huge dog fanatics, but especially pit bull fanatics, growing that trust and showing that, we're not here just to sell a product. We're also doing something to help our community as well.
Yeah,
exactly. And I would assume some of the part that did ease his nerves a little is that I've already done this once.
Yeah.
I have already started a business. I left that business, but I grew it with my brother, very successful before I did leave. When it started, it was him and I. And when I left, we had 30 employees and we're doing millions and millions of years, millions and millions of dollars a year. So I'm sure when he saw that, yes, this is scary, but anything new is always scary. Starting a business is always going to be scary, but we believed in our mission, we believe in our product, and we believed in my experience doing it once. So we decided to take the risk again.
I love that. And I think that's really important because sometimes when you have no experience, it's like, and it could cause a fight between you guys. But I agree.
Totally.
Being able to see, hey, he's done this, he knows what he's doing, and kind of trust that and know that you guys are doing it together.
Yeah. It really is a good dynamic too, because with his expertise on growing small businesses and then, me coming in to essentially really help him on Saturdays running my own market and using my sales skills there. It's a good dynamic duo as far as running the business.
Do you guys have competition on who does better with sales?
we actually did at the beginning. We would always joke about in the sales world, it's always President's Club is what you're going for, right? Yeah. And so we would always joke about in terms who's going to President's Club. Yeah. And so on our Square app, you can track which market, who's doing better. So
it's obviously was all a joke from the beginning and we don't do it as much. But at first we're I've sold 28, you've only sold 24 of
good,
Arizona Rancher. Yeah, what's going on over there?
Okay, watch me. I got 45 minutes. Let's see what happens.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, but it's fun.
I love it. Upfront costs to get started in the farmer's market. I would assume there's quite a bit because you can't just show up with the table and the product. You have to make decorations, make it showy. You need your tent. It's Arizona. It's hot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot involved in that. What did it look like as far as upfront costs as well as the products, right? Testing and what's going to work, what's not going to work.
Totally.
Yeah. When we started with just one market.
Okay.
So we had to buy materials, but it was just one market worth.
Yeah.
Yes, you need a lot of things for farmers markets. Like you just said, you need tents, tables, your banner. Yeah. But compared to a traditional business where you're going to actually need a full-time storefront, you are obviously saving a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
What we really did spend a lot more of the upfront costs with, what you just said, is creating our flavors because we use, I hate to keep repeating this, but we use organic, very high quality ingredients. So we're not using cheap things.
Pricey.
It is very pricey.
Yeah.
And when we were testing, we were making hundreds of batches. It took probably 50 batches to nail the chocolate peanut butter because
it took us probably 3 months to get that.
We've realized how a lot of people get their products crispy, fresh is using preservatives. And since we don't use preservatives, we really had to hone our recipes, and more than our recipes, our technique in the baking process. We were finding that just a couple minutes of too much oven time or a few degrees too hot was all it was taking to ruin a recipe.
Wow.
And so that really did take a lot of time and in return a lot of money.
Yeah.
That has been quickly recouped. We have definitely already are in the black from
That's great.
From starting. So I can't say we are ready to retire yet. but it is proving that if you deliver a good product, you have a good mission, you are there for your customers, you do what you do what you say you're gonna do, and people will come.
Yeah.
payment comes out. We were received, which gave us the confidence to now expand from just 1 to 3 so quickly, just because we felt like we were meshing with our customers so well, and that we had so many return customers, and then that everyone was appreciating the product, plus our mission, with the dog rescues and everything like that. So it really motivated us to push and grow to more. So as far as Mike was saying, as far as getting our return on investment and everything, it's been there. So
that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's been exciting. And when we started, obviously we were starting a business, but to us it was just a hobby. It was so I could get outside and I could see people besides a computer screen. And we were just like, this gives us something to do on Saturdays. We're not people who tend to like to have free time and not things to do. So that was another thought why we started it. But it is like I was just saying, we gave a good product, we have a good mission, and the community has supported us way more than we ever have. So like you said, this is much more of my full-time job now because we saw the opportunity. So we're like, well, the opportunity is here. Let's take it to the next step.
And the demand is definitely there too, where it would be difficult for, him to still be working his Monday through Friday job.
Yes. So obviously we have mutual friends who are also in the farmers market business with a different product, and they do very well. Is that something that I think when people go to farmers market, they kind of look at the people who are working the booths, see the products, and probably think there's not a lot of money in this. Did that impact your decision in starting this, kind of seeing somebody you knew to say, oh, they've done this, like I think I could do it? You have a totally different product, but do you think that there's profit in all products for farmers market or specific products?
I definitely think there is much more much more profit in specific products. With a few of the categories being much higher, but seeing their experience and just seeing what they did with that definitely helped us in starting it. Because before that, we did go to farmers markets and kind of think exactly what you said. This is awesome, but this must just be like a side hobby for them. There's no way that this is actually supporting them and this is their career.
That much off of that product.
So seeing our mutual friends turn it into a very successful and lucrative business while giving them the freedom, because they obviously work a lot of weekends, but the freedom that they get in return of that has definitely helped us in wanting to start this.
I love it.
And when we were, having fun, playing around with the idea of it when we were making the popcorn and everything during the pandemic, and people were telling us to, we definitely research it to see, is popcorn a legitimate product at a farmer's market where you can make, and it definitely, the research showed that it was, and so that definitely helped us with our decision. And besides for seeing our friends, it gave us the confidence as far as being like, okay, this can be worth our time.
And part of our research for specifically farmers market businesses is you want product that's going to run out pretty quickly where they have to keep coming back. So things that are longer lasting, like
a bar of soap that lasts you a month or two.
Or a candle, which obviously you go through candles, but not as quickly.
No.
Some maybe decorations where you can hang it on the wall and you're never going to go back there because you bought that picture and you only need one. So it was like, do something where they're going to keep needing to come back for more. And then we kind of dived into, hey, we already love popcorn. And then, like you were saying, we were doing all the making of popcorn during COVID. And then we did specific research on popcorn and farmers markets and found it was very popular and lucrative. So that was kind of like the initial research phases.
Hey, it's Isabel. Thanks for listening to the Young Boss podcast. I recently wrote a book called Young Boss, and it's filled with top tips I've learned over the years on how to survive and thrive in business. Pre-order your copy now by heading to the link in the podcast description. Now, back to the show. Okay, I want to hear about scaling because you said you're in 3 markets, but there's 2 of you. So who works the third? And then how does that work? Is there a maximum amount of markets you want to be in? Tell me a little bit more about what scaling looks like.
When we first started out with just 2 of us at the same market, right? At first we were it was a little nerve-wracking. We're like, how is this going to work? Can we both do this? And so we were like, I think one is just going to be it, whatever. And then after we got probably a couple of weeks in, we were like, okay, this is totally fine. We can each work one. And so, as we mentioned, it was difficult to actually get into these big ones. And so we, had been trying to get into the Gilbert, Arizona one because we had heard that was a great farmer's market. And so had applied a couple times, couldn't get a response. And so had met another vendor friend at the Uptown Farmer's Market, and they referred us to them. And so we got into there. So we were both at each one of those. And so things were going well. And so we're okay. We we want to scale out even more now with the goal to eventually have some sort of storefront. And so we just wanted to keep making our presence grown throughout Phoenix. So, you know, we have Central Phoenix covered now, we have the East Valley, and then now we're in the West Valley in hopes of, you know, getting the word of Pitties Popcorn about throughout the entire valley. And so, yeah, we have our niece help us out right now, which has been huge.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. My niece Leilani is 17, and she's been helping us out. She's the perfect age. Plus, it's just like any excuse you can get to hang out with your family and just like be with them I'll take that any day. So the fact I'm able to work and like be with my niece and just like continue to get to know her and just spend time with her is amazing. And so she helps us make the popcorn now when she gets out of school, and then she's the one who's running our third market for us.
Oh, I love that.
So it's been nice. Like Mike said, it's been obviously, you know, seeing her grow up and everything, but now that she's a young woman, it's been nice to like form a new relationship with her and getting to know her better when she's been working with us. So.
It's so much better than working at the local, you know,
exactly
burger joint, right? Like she's getting to work with you guys. I'm sure you're flexible with her hours.
Super. That's funny you say that. She does have another more traditional type of job. And we always say like, hey, like we feel like we're overworking you. Like you don't have to come. And she's like, stop. Like this is the job I want to come to. Like this is where I actually enjoy and have fun and
We've
get to do
talked
something.
about our Christmas party that we're going to have, just the three of us.
That's cute.
First Pitties
Company culture.
Exactly. We're starting it strong.
I love that. Okay, Arizona, you guys, we have a unique situation because of our weather. We have farmers markets 365.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not true of everywhere, right? Have you thought about going into other states and what that would look like? Or are you like, hey, we have enough work here in Arizona that we could just keep it going here?
It'd be nice to start a place in the summer where it's not triple digits.
So hot. I know.
But that truly is an advantage. While it is hot here, you can still, I mean, it's hot, but you can still manage it versus when it's Colorado, for example, it's snowing and they can't have winters all winter long or markets all winter long. So it's a lot and it's hot, but just that you're able to still do it. You have so many more opportunities. Like I would have to say like we have probably more farmers markets than I'm sure there's other states that have a lot of farmers markets, California, but we have like so many farmers markets. They're everywhere. Neighborhoods do them, and the majority of them are year round. So we have talked about going out to other states, and we do currently ship nationwide. So we do online ordering, and we ship anywhere nationwide, 2-day shipping, and we ship all of our flavors that can just be ordered on our website. But if we were ever going to get to the point where we were ready to go into other states, we're going to do that in a more like wholesale, like where we're in stores, where we're selling to companies like Kroger, Whole Foods, things of that sort. I don't think unless we were going to move, we would like do farmers markets in other states because there's just too much. Part of the farmers market is like truly the community. You get to know these people. And when it's us there versus it's just they know, hey, you're one of the owners, you just connect with them so much more than if it was one of your employees. And we truly have seen that. Like everyone who has worked markets for us, I mean, does an absolutely incredible job. But we have noticed that the community, just like when you're the owners and they know that and they can learn and connect with you, sense your passion for exactly. There's just like you grow much more and much faster.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that.
Yeah, we actually just had this conversation with as we grew out to the third one, just as far as like, you know, hey, is our niece going to always go to that one? Or we should probably have at least one of us. So we have one owner, you know, it's not like we forgot about that one. And so it's always, you're never going to see an owner type of thing. And so we actually were just talking about
like a rotating schedule.
Exactly. So at least one of us can, you know, be at each market, you know.
And to really scale, we eventually will have to like step back from the customer side of it to just be on the more operation side of it. And that's just part of scaling a business. But our hope and our dreams, by the time we get there, we have already built our community's trust that they will still be behind us because they'll know we're still there in the picture. We're just doing what we need to do to take this to the next level. And that's, as you're well aware of, one of the steps to growing a business is you have to delegate. Sometimes it's very hard. Because as an owner, like, you know that you're gonna just personally do it the best, because even if you have the best employee, as an owner, you're always gonna care more. But just learning to let go and trust and strength you build in the community, they'll just follow you.
I love that. Well, it sounds like this whole business from beginning to end, right? There's a lot of investment up front of your guys' time, your energy, and getting started financially. Then it's testing. Does the market even like us? And then once they like you, there's a whole culture. Like you said, you tried to get into a market, you tried, kept getting denied, and then finally, okay, someone puts your name in the hat. How has the acceptance in the culture of the farmers market been? Are the other vendors now friendly with you? Is there any people you have like little battles with? What's the vibe of that?
Yeah, so we actually met this couple. They're amazing. They're called Shrubwell, and they do cocktail and mocktail mixers.
Oh, fun.
Same thought process as us, minimal ingredients, fresh, organic stuff.
Yeah, they're really good.
And so we met them in the first month or two that we started, got a good friendship with them, and they actually hooked us up for the summer. We got a prime spot because they requested us to be by them because they just thought that we would mesh well, be next door to each other. And so we got a clutch set up for the summer. Very cool, very shaded and everything as far as it. And then had, the other one that we met at Uptown, she, helped us get into Gilbert. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, obviously getting set up, we're quickly trying to get everything all set up and everything, but to have time to go out and meet the other vendors. We'll try to get out there, but for now, we've just had the couple that we've been close with.
But it is a very important part of the market environment. Like if you're just one of the vendors who's going to sit behind their booth and do your own thing and talk to people kind of as they come by, but not make the effort to go meet other people, you're not going to grow well.
Right.
They're truly looking for people who look we're all small businesses trying to help each other. And that's truly like the core principles of the farmers market. So I 100% believe it's because we made an effort to meet as many people as possible. And like you said, now that we're on our own, it's very hard to escape your booth to talk to other people because you have no one there to watch the booth. But just
during setup, during
setup, talking to people as you're walking by, just saying hi. If you have some extra bags of your product or whatever your product is, handing it out, just doing things like that. It all comes back in the end. And
we'll even get like shout outs from other vendors too. Like when we do a product swap, we're just like meeting with them. And so, they'll buy a bag of popcorn or whatever popcorn we give them and they'll post it on their social media. So just
nice.
Like Mike said too, like we haven't really seen much competition, at least in our realm of the people that we've met. And so everyone's pretty like promotional for the other products.
That's good.
Granted, we haven't come across another gourmet popcorn vendor like us.
Okay.
But for now, everybody else has been pretty friendly and promotional for us.
I love it. I'm thinking, you guys, right now, what's popping in my head is for our corporate events, like we'll buy people like, baskets, especially like during the holiday time, that has popcorn, nuts, the alcohol mixers, this, the that. You guys need to work with everyone, make a little holiday basket, and we'll all order it.
Yes. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That would be really fun because it's like, even you could do it at the market. Somebody could take it right then and there.
Exactly.
Is there any neighbors at the market you don't want to be nearby? Not because you don't like them. I mean, like because it doesn't make your product look as good or it confuses it or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone, at the end of the day, they're all small businesses and they're all doing their best, but there are definitely people who their vibes might not be the best.
Okay.
They might just have products that not a lot of people are interested in, so there's not a lot of people coming to your area.
Okay.
So you do want to be by people who have more popular products because that's where the people go.
Yeah.
And truly, like, I keep saying bad vibes, but like there are vendors that talk about other vendors of just like, because their energy is like the things they say, it's just like woe is me, and like vendors that are there for the community and just trying to make their business as successful as possible, just focus on the positive. Like there's always going to be negative, but we truly just try to find the positive in every situation. And when you're next to somebody that is constantly nagging, and even like to customers, like everyone, like we've seen this, like they literally will like walk around them or just like completely
pick up on
avoid
that
certain
energy
things.
If, like,
so
this is a negative person or it's going to be some issue, they're not going to want to come up to that booth.
No.
Yeah.
And we want everyone, and I mean, a thing about the market, but definitely with us, the vendors that we have common interests with, is we want everyone to feel very welcome. So like, we would love you to come up to our booth, but like, if you don't want to, like, no problem. But if you do, like, we're gonna hear you, treat you with respect, not try, if this isn't for you, like, we're not gonna try and convince you. And
Yeah.
What if somebody wants to get started in the farmers market business? What's like the first couple steps that they need to do?
Take some great social media pictures.
Okay.
I feel like at the beginning of ours, like, we were talking about the investment as far as at the beginning, not only making a ton of popcorn recipes to try it, but then also making a lot of recipes to do different photo shoots. And so, I just went to the dollar store and got a lot of just fun, random things that went with each of our 3 original popcorn flavors and took pictures on my iPhone and got good marketing pictures with that. So good marketing pictures, and then just get out there, like bring your product to the market, just show up, try to find whoever the owner is, because they obviously have on all the markets online, they'll say who the owner is, and then just start asking around, bring your product in there. Because like we did that with the downtown Phoenix one, and it was beneficial for us. And the guy said, this is great, this tastes fantastic. We ended up turning down that market just because it wasn't going to be beneficial for us. But that's definitely what I would suggest.
Okay, I love it. Social media and relationship.
Yeah,
Yes.
and also just taking the opportunity. When we originally started, we had like our heart set on Uptown, which is probably the best market we have in Phoenix.
Yeah.
The wait list is hundreds, if not thousands of people long. Like it is very intense, and we were being a little stubborn by just like, we're going to get into this one and we're just going to wait till we do. No, like take any opportunity, and just, if you can get into a farmer's market, take that opportunity, because then once the bigger markets see that you actually have a product that people want to buy, they see that you actually know how to run a business, that you can show up on time, I believe is what, because we eventually started at a smaller farmer's market, and that is what got us into Uptown.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 months of doing that, and then all of a sudden the Uptown people responded. So
that's good. So persistence and just being willing to take whatever. Also, you'll learn a lot of things at those smaller markets that maybe you don't want to burn on the big market anyway.
Exactly, right.
Absolutely.
Get all like the nerves and jitters and bugs out first at maybe that smaller one.
Yes, I love that. As far as food products, right? So if someone wants to start in the farmer's market, I love those tips. If they have a food product like you guys, is there any special licensing? How are they allowed to make their food? What do you have to do to make it okay?
Yeah, so you definitely have to have special licensing.
Okay.
It depends on the type of food and product you're making.
Okay.
To what type of license you need. I'm not sure if this is nationwide or if this is an Arizona thing, but Arizona has something called the cottage food law. So for certain products that you're going to sell from your home or at farmers markets, you can make them at your home. They're like, there's a category of like what's listed, but the main thing that they approve is just, it has to be non-perishable. Okay. So if you have like a non-perishable food product, and popcorn is one of the ones listed, you can make these out of your home, but still sell them to the public. Okay. So that's like it's a major money saver, because in order to get real food license, it's time consuming, it's thousands of dollars.
You need a commercial
kitchen. I mean, it's just a whole nother game. So the fact that we were able to start making this out of our home, I mean, saved us not only a lot of time, but a ton of money as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there are some other businesses, since you just talked this, our friends, our Schwabel company, their product doesn't fall under that. So for them, they had to get a commercial kitchen, get their licenses. You have to get scientists to like approve the nutrition that's in your food. They have to go to labs and do all that stuff. So when our business continues to grow the way it is, we're going to get there sooner than later. We've actually already started looking into that, because we are quickly getting to the point where we need a commercial kitchen. Yeah. But that is really what boosted our starting and our success, is that we were able to just start this out of our home. Yeah. And if you wanted to start your business, you can find all that information out online. So if you wanted to find out like, hey, can I make this under the cottage food law? Just Google Arizona cottage food license and everything right there. They actually, when I started, they have a super helpful like help number as well, where if you just want to be double sure, or for sure, you can call them and just check all the rules.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about One Love.
Yeah, so like I said, when we were first thinking of starting this idea for the popcorn, we wanted to bring in the adoption dogs that had such a special place in our heart and really changed our lives. And so interviewing companies or dog rescues around town, and
we were just emailing them like, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're starting, like, would you be interested? And then we just started like setting up interviews with different rescues.
And so I met with Dana at One Love, and we just fell in love with her right away. We knew that this was going to be the group that we wanted to go with.
The fourth word, like sometimes you just immediately connect with people. And you just like know like this is the decision. With her, that was it. And we had already talked to multiple people before her, so we already she wasn't our first. And as soon as we it was just like we knew it was the right fit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And so we did, when we were trying to get into these farmers markets, we actually did a couple events with them. So they were like our first preview events of like doing our farmers markets prior. And so so thanks to her, she really got us in, I mean, as far as like getting people on our social media and everything like that. And so we did like 2 or 3 great One Love Dog adoption events with them, got a ton of great feedback. Everyone was like super impressed of our business model of, you know, promoting the positivity of pit bulls and adopting them. And so, we've had great experience. So we donate 5% of our monthly profits to them.
Awesome.
And then we also feature one of their dogs that's been in the shelter for a while weekly on our social media, as well as our farmers market stand, to hopefully catch someone's eye, you know, at the farmers market or on our social media, to hopefully adopt them.
Oh, that's really cute, guys. I love that.
And besides just vibing with One Love and Dana and all of them, their mission, besides the initial reaction, is what truly got us like, this is the one, because they do a lot. What makes them unique is a lot of their dogs are actually still in like county shelters, but they'll sponsor the dogs that are still in the county shelters. So
to try to get it rescued.
To try and get them rescued. But one of the main things is rescue, so promotion, marketing, but also healthcare reasons. If there's a dog in county care that has an ear infection that's under county care, most of the time they're just going to put that dog to sleep because they don't have the resources. An ear infection is something that is very easily treatable.
That's what I'm saying. It's like drops.
So that's One Love will sponsor, like they'll watch them. They'll say like, oh, like this dog's on the E-list for an ear infection. They'll go, or something else that's easily treatable. They'll go in there, immediately sponsor this dog, get them the care it needs. This dog is still living in the county, but they're watching over. Now it's on their website. So this dog is being reached to much more people. And it's also, as soon as they take the dog over, it's off of the E-list. So if a dog is in their care, it's no longer going to be euthanized.
Oh, that's awesome, you guys.
And then one more thing really brought us to them. They do a lot of like stray, neuter releases. So they go to just more areas of town that have a lot of strays and try and find the dogs. And so we can try and control this issue we have of the overpopulation of dogs. And that was another part that really, and another thing they do is for more low-income families, they do days where you can bring your dog to them and they neuter them for free, just because they want to, again, stop this problem. And obviously we all, just because you might not be able to afford to spay the dog yourself doesn't mean you can't be an amazing dog parent and give this dog an amazing life. So the fact that they do those added things is really what drew us to them.
That's awesome.
And they do a great job with like these little sheets that they send us as far as like picking their dogs a week and everything like that. They do a great job with like information on finding the right parent or home, you know, the right adopt, just because unfortunately that does happen where people are like, I'm going to adopt a dog, and they don't necessarily are the best future parent for that dog just because they have their own certain needs and everything like that. And so unfortunately the dogs can get returned, which is obviously traumatic for the dog, going back into the shelter. So they do a great job with really vetting the people that are potentially going to adopt them, just to make sure it's a right home for them and they don't have to worry about bringing it back in.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. How can we find out more about Pitties Popcorn?
Yeah. So we have a website, pittiespopcorn.com. Also our social media is just at Pitties Popcorn. We have all the information on there. We have information about One Love. You can see their adoptable dogs. We also ship. So if you're not in Arizona and you're like, I want to try some of this popcorn, we ship anywhere nationwide, 2 to 3 day shipping. You can find all that on our website, just pittiespopcorn.com.
Amazing. And the 3 markets you're in right now in Arizona?
Uptown in Phoenix, and then Gilbert in the East Valley, and then Arrowhead in the West Valley.
Which is at Arrowhead Mall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And those are all Saturday, Sunday, or it's just Saturday?
All just Saturday.
Okay.
Yep, they're all Saturday. Gilbert is 8 to 12. Uptown is 8 to 1. And then Arrowhead at the Arrowhead Town Center is 9 to 1. And those are the hours through May.
Awesome. We'll have to come visit you
then.
Yes, again.
Please do. Yes.
Thank you guys so much for being on. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Young Boss Podcast with your host, Isabel Garino. Be sure to like, share, and follow on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And let us know, are pit bulls your favorite breed? Remember, youth is your power. Hey there, it's Isabel from the Young Boss Podcast. Since we recorded this episode, Pitties Popcorn has decided to close their doors. And I just wanted to talk about closing your business for a second, because they shared so much amazing information in this episode, and I didn't want the episode to go to waste. So of course we still had to share it with you guys, but closing your business is a real thing. And a lot of people may close their business because there's tough competition or unavailable resources or maybe economic conditions, or they weren't making enough profits. In Pitties Popcorn, those guys, they have been working on having children for quite some time now, since I actually got to wed them at their wedding a couple years back, and they wanted to really turn their focus onto making this happen and making it a reality and bringing their dream to fruition. And so they decided to kind of put pause on Pitties Popcorn. They still are absolutely so grateful for the service they were able to provide for pitbulls across our state. And they were able to provide such an amazing service and have a lot of fun and make some cash in the meantime. But they really decided all the work, all the effort was not worth it with the vision and the goals that they had for their personal life. And that is another reason why people stop doing their business. Maybe they say, hey, I thought I really wanted to do this. I thought it matched my personal and business vision. And when I got into it, it actually didn't. And that's exactly what happened with Mike and Killian. So I still wanted to share this amazing episode with you guys. You can still send them a ton of love and support. But Pitties has closed their doors. You can no longer find them at the farmer's market. And if you did get a taste of their popcorn while they were open, ooh la la, it was amazing, y'all. So hopefully one day, my wish is that they'll bring it back, and maybe we'll have some little babies there at the Pitties Popcorn stand in the farmer's market. But I just wanted to thank you all for the listen today and hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. Don't forget, your youth is your power.